Hey everyone, my name is Jack. I'm a 23-year-old real estate investor and soon-to-be attorney, and on this channel I cover a variety of topics as they relate to real estate, investing, the markets, and pretty much everything as it has to do with personal finance. So if you like that sort of content, be sure to have a look around the channel, and if you like what you see, be sure to subscribe. But in today's video, I want to talk about 9 different side hustles that you can get started today in an effort to try and boost your income or offset your expenses in some way. There's no shortage of side hustles out there, but in this video, I'm going to divide them into 3 different classes, with the first being quicker side hustles you can get started with right away and really start making money quickly. The second are more medium-length side hustles that can take a while to really get some traction, but once you do, it can be very lucrative. And the third is longer-term side hustles that often have no payoff at the beginning, but can really have tremendous payoff towards the end once you get things going with them. I wanted to divide it this way since not everyone is getting into a side hustle for the same reason. Oftentimes there are shorter-term needs. Some people have more long-term goals that they're going for with a side hustle, so I decided to divide it that way. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the 9 side hustles. The first one is YOLO options trading on Robinhood. Did I get you there? Because that's not actually the first one. Though options trading is a great way to potentially catapult your wealth into the stratosphere, but is also a great way to lose it all in the blink of an eye. It can also be useful for becoming famous on Wall Street bets if that's something you're going for. Anyways, the first side hustle I want to suggest is in the shorter term category that I mentioned earlier, and that's bank account churning. This is where you open different bank accounts and maybe put a minimum deposit in, and then because you've opened that account, you get some money from that bank as an introductory bonus. Often these bonuses can be up to a few $100, so you can really turn this into a lucrative side hustle when it really only takes a few minutes of work to actually open up an account. The per hour wage that you're getting is actually quite high because it's only going to take you usually 10 minutes or so to open up a bank account, and then if you just leave some money in the account, usually you can get $100 or $200 without really doing anything. And some introductory bonuses don't actually require an initial large deposit. Oftentimes you can just hook up the account to your direct deposit if you have a W-2 job, and then use that to get the bonus, since usually the requirements to get these bank account bonuses are actually quite low. And even if you have to put some money up front for a few months, usually you get a pretty sizable return on your money because it's such a short amount of time and it's guaranteed money from the bank. This can be a great thing to do with your emergency account if you have a few $1,000s saved up. Just use that to open new accounts and take advantage of introductory bonuses. They change all the time, so it's often worth doing your own search to find the best offers right now. The next quick and easy side hustle is actually quite similar, and that's credit card churning. Take the same basic concept with bank account churning and now apply it to credit cards. This is going to require a decent credit score in order to take advantage of this, since usually to get great introductory bonuses on credit cards, you're going to need a pretty healthy credit score. If you want to see what factors go into your credit score, I'll go ahead and include a link to one of my first videos I ever did up above right now, and that'll give you a quick breakdown on how your credit score actually works. But anyways, once your credit score is good, you can go and apply for new credit cards to take advantage of some pretty sizable bonus offers. If you play things right, you can usually get a few $100 per card, or you can get a lot of travel miles, and this can be a great way to earn some extra sort of income on the side without really having to do anything extra. Many of these introductory bonuses require you to meet a minimum spend of some sort, so make sure you'd actually be able to meet that spend without actually having to go beyond your normal means. There's no shortage of these offers out there as well, but obviously be careful when you're doing this, since you don't want to have your credit score drop too low because you're opening all of these new accounts, because that can drop your score in the short term. But if you pace it out every few months, you can take advantage of a lot of different credit card offers and also watch your score start to rise over the long term as you have these new cards open. But if you have cards that have fees on them, you might consider closing them and then going on to the next offer to take advantage of that. But what if you don't have credit and you don't trust banks for some reason? Then this third side hustle could be an idea for you, and that's delivering through something like Postmates. Especially now with the very digital economy, we have a lot of people taking advantage of deliveries as a service. For example, they don't want to go grocery shopping. They don't want to pick up things at a restaurant. So to fill this gap, they're having people deliver it to them through a service like Postmates or other delivery services, maybe Uber Eats. There are a lot of different options out there. But generally, it's very easy to get started with these platforms, and you don't even need a car in many cases. With Postmates, you can get started with a bike or even walking if you're in more of an urban area where you're close to a lot of restaurants. I've been a Postmates delivery guy in the past. I tried it out quite a while ago, and it was pretty easy to do. You just apply to the app, and I got a response very quickly and was able to get started delivering very fast after that too. You're not going to make a ton of money here, but it's a quick way to make some extra side cash cash. You also get to keep all your tips, so that's nice. So it's definitely an option to consider if you're looking to make quick cash immediately. You might also look into similar types of work. If you have a car, for example, you could try Uber, but generally the gig economy is full of opportunities to make money quickly. Again, you're not going to make a ton of money, but you can make some pretty easy money, relatively speaking, and you can do that pretty quickly. Anyways, let's get on to the next category, and this is the medium-length side hustles that might take a little bit of upfront investment in your time and energy before you actually start getting a payoff, or maybe there's a delay from getting started to actually getting paid off. The first one is car flipping. This is where you buy used cars in your area and then flip them to people after you maybe fix them up a little bit or clean them up, or if you just got them at a steep discount, then you could resell them at a profit. You do have to be careful because some states do regulate this pretty heavily and that you can't sell more than a few cars per year unless you get your dealership license, so do be careful with that. But generally, this can be a quick way to make a few $100 in a weekend if you play your cards right and you actually find some good deals on something like Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, since you'd be surprised at how many used cars are sold via that method basically every single day. You can use pricing tools like Kelley Blue Book, which shows you the approximate used price or the fair price for a car given its characteristics and mileage and all that stuff. So you can use that as your guide as you look for good deals on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and all of those other marketplaces where you can buy used cars. Some people take this to the next level where they actually go directly to dealerships and try to get cars at a steep discount before they're actually put out on the lot. There's definitely a lot of potential in this side hustle, especially if you're interested in cars and are familiar with how the car market works. It could be a really lucrative side hustle if you do things correctly. And it really doesn't take a ton of money to get started with. You are going to need some money, of course, but you can usually pick up some cheap older cars for a few $100, usually less than $1,000, and can make some money on that. But this isn't to say you have to be limited to that. You can go above this as well. There are luxury car flippers as well if you have a lot of money laying around. Definitely something to look into. The next side hustle is offering your services on something like Fiverr. Fiverr is a freelance site, much like many others, where you can offer your services online for some fee, and then people who need that work done can solicit those services from you, and then you take a commission on it. Fiverr does all the marketing for you, so if you offer a decent gig at a decent price, you can usually get going making money on Fiverr pretty quickly. However, it can take some time to actually get going, especially if you only have 1 or 2 gigs, so it might make sense to offer many different services on Fiverr to cast a pretty wide net, and then you could probably get some traction that way. The reason I put it into the medium length category is because there's really no guarantee that you're going to make money off the bat, because it can take a while to actually have your gig kind of circulate through the market and have people actually interested in buying it before you have any reviews on that gig. I've used Fiverr in the past and I've made some money with it, so I know other people can do it as well. I didn't do any extra marketing with it, and I only had 1 gig listed at any given time, so if you offer a bunch of different gigs at the same time, I'd bet you could probably make quite a bit of money on Fiverr. It also is definitely worth looking into if you're interested in growing a side business. Number 6 on our list of side hustles is writing blog articles for other businesses or other people. This is something that you could offer on Fiverr, but if you know small business owners or solicit them directly, you can actually build a decent side business out of writing blog articles for people. This is something that I've had some success with over the last 6 months in writing blog articles for law firms. I'm currently in law school, so I know how to do legal research if I need to, and I understand a lot of nuanced legal issues because I've studied them, so I can offer something to law firms who might not be comfortable with things like search engine optimization or who haven't actually written blog articles before. If you take some time to study search engine optimization, or SEO as it's often called, you can really learn a lot about how blogs work and how to have a successful blog. Then you could reach out to businesses who have websites but maybe have an underdeveloped blog or don't have any content at all on their website, and you can tell them how you can help them to expand their reach online by writing blog articles for them. If there's a particular niche that you're interested or are really knowledgeable about, then that's more power to you, since you can offer that as a sort of perk to your services in that you know a lot about this topic already. It's very easy for you to write about it, and that's just a bonus. If you want to take it to the next level, if you're bringing in a lot of business, then you can actually hire out writers below you as sort of subcontractors, where they can help you write a lot of the content, and then maybe you can edit it, or you develop some sort of system to where you're cranking out blog articles for businesses all around your area or even all around the world. world. It's definitely something that can be done in a very virtualized economy, so definitely worth something looking into. Now let's get into longer term side hustles. These often will have pretty much no payoff at the beginning and will take a lot of work to really get up off the ground, but once they are up off the ground, they can be very lucrative. The first one of these is building websites, and this could include building blogs, so it's kind of similar to what I just described with writing for other businesses, but in this case, you are the business. There's a lot of money to be made if you can build a website that brings in consistent traffic. Ideally, you'll build a website about a niche topic that has a decent sized audience, and as you write more content on that website or offer more services that bring a lot of attention, then you can monetize that traffic through a few ways. One of those ways is through affiliate marketing, where you include links to other people's sites, and when the person who visits that link buys something from that other site, then you get a small commission for it. Another way to monetize is through display ads and advertisements on your website. And a third way is to actually sell something directly on the site or build an email list through that site that you can sell to. There's a lot of different ways that you can monetize a website, but building it can take a lot of time before it actually gets some substantial traffic. If you take a few hours per week to write articles for your website, then you can really develop a profitable niche website that you can use to parlay the money into other things and other investments, or simply pour it back into the website and try to build that as an even bigger business. So that's another great option, but number 8 on our list is print on demand. This is where you make designs and put them on popular print on demand sites to where if anyone puts that design on a product, then you get a commission for it. If you take the time to develop some high quality designs that you can put on something like a t-shirt, then you could actually upload those designs to sites like Redbubble or Merch by Amazon, and you can make some really sizable income from that if you build up a large portfolio of designs. But this can take a long time to get going and really get traction with, since it can take a while to actually get the initial sales that you often need for these sites, print-on-demand sites, to actually start pushing your material specifically. But because you're using someone else's site, you don't really have to worry about a lot of the overhead, and all you can focus on is putting out high-quality designs. You can also combine this with the last side hustle, number 7, building a website, where you can actually include your print-on-demand products on your website so that people can buy those as well. The 9th side hustle that I'm going to include on this list is becoming a real estate or leasing agent. Now, it doesn't have to be in real estate, but generally getting a professional license can be a great way to make some side income. I include real estate because it is something you can get started with on the weekends, for example. You're not going to make a ton of money off the bat, though, if you're doing this part-time. And even if you're doing this full-time, becoming a real estate agent can take a while to start making some sizable side income. But because real estate showings often take place in the evenings and on the weekends, it is something you can fit in with another job that you have during the day. It's just going to be pretty difficult to really have a sizable, huge income as a real estate agent or leasing agent part-time, but it is a great way to get started in the business if you're thinking about it. And by starting part-time, you can open up this avenue later on if you decide you want to go full-time into becoming a real estate agent, a leasing agent, or really any other professional path that has some sort of license or requires some sort of training to get into generally. Now I'm going to include a 10th here as a bonus, and that is doing YouTube or really anything on social media where you're trying to build a brand. Especially if you get popular on something like YouTube, you can really make a lot of money with it, whether that be directing people to courses, directing people to affiliate links, or just taking ad revenue. It can be a great way to make a lot of money if you can get some traction on the platform. But that can take a very long time to happen. But if you enjoy making videos about a topic that you're really passionate about, it can be a nice side hustle and a great way to build your own brand image. Like all of the other things on this list, definitely something to consider. So anyways, that's 10 side hustles, short-term, medium-term, and long-term options. If you're looking for a way to try and boost your income on the side, or somehow offset your expenses, or just build a business without having to sacrifice your full-time gig, whatever you're doing right now. Trying to diversify your income streams is always a great option, since you never know what's going to happen to your current situation, and the more options you have, the less risk you're going to be facing. Anyways, that's all I've got for today. If you like this video, please like it, since it helps the channel out a lot. And if you like this sort of content about personal finance, investing, and all that sort of stuff, definitely subscribe, since I put out new videos every single week and I wouldn't want you guys to miss out. And check out my affiliate links in the description below for free stocks from Webull and Robinhood. If you open up accounts there, we both get free stocks, so it's a win-win. Take the free money while it's there. You might as well do it. It's a great side hustle to start with. But until next time, take care.